The birth and salvation. Musa, Moses, was born during a time when Pharaoh of Egypt was oppressing the Israelites and had ordered the killing of every male child among them to prevent the rise of a potential threat to his throne. When Musa was born, his mother was inspired by God to hide him in a basket and set it adrift on the river to save him from Pharaoh's soldiers. The basket reached Pharaoh's palace, where it was found by Pharaoh's wife, Asiyah bint Muzahim, who pleaded with Pharaoh to let them raise him as their own son. Pharaoh agreed, and through divine planning, Musa's mother was appointed his nurse, thus reuniting them, his youth and escape. Musa grew up in Pharaoh's palace, but felt a strong connection to his people. One day, he saw an Egyptian man assaulting an Israelite. Musa intervened and struck the Egyptian, unintentionally killing him. Fearing the consequences, Musa fled to Midian, where he encountered a righteous man and worked for him, eventually marrying his daughter. Revelation and prophethood. While traveling with his family back to Egypt, Musa saw a fire in the distance. He approached it, and there, God spoke to him, appointing him as a prophet and messenger to guide Pharaoh and liberate the Israelites from bondage. God granted him two miracles: a staff that turned into a snake and a hand that shone brightly when drawn from his cloak. Confronting Pharaoh, Musa returned to Egypt and demanded that Pharaoh release the Israelites. Pharaoh arrogantly refused. Musa challenged the sorcerers of Egypt, besting them when his staff transformed into a great snake that devoured their magical illusions. The sorcerers then believed in God, but Pharaoh persisted in his tyranny, increasing his oppression of the Israelites. Deliverance and miracles. God commanded Musa to lead the Israelites out of Egypt secretly. Pharaoh pursued them with his army. When Musa reached the sea, God instructed him to strike it with his staff, parting the waters and creating a dry path. Musa and his people crossed safely while Pharaoh and his forces drowned as the waters closed over them. The wilderness period. After their escape, the Israelites wandered the desert for 40 years due to their repeated disobedience and odd demands, such as wanting to see God directly and rejecting the manna and quail provided by God in favor of other foods. During this time, God revealed the Torah to Musa on Mount Sinai and ordered them to construct an ark containing the tablets of the Torah as a sign of his presence among them. Conclusion. Musa could not enter the promised land due to the disobedience of his people, but remained a prominent prophet and leader. After his death, Joshua bin Nun led the Israelites into the promised land. Lessons: trusting in God and relying on him during hardships. Importance of patience and endurance in the face of injustice. The necessity to obey God's commands without hesitation. Consequences of rebellion and disobedience.